Roland Sanchez-Media Jr. is a transactional attorney practicing corporate tax and real estate law. We are so happy that he's joined us today because he is the Florida Bar's most recent president. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell us why you decided to become an attorney.
So I'm an immigrant. I was born in Cuba and made my way here to the United States by way of Africa, Spain, and eventually we settled in Miami. And when you're an immigrant, your parents promote just professions that'll make some money. You know, money being the biggest issue with immigrants, right? Being able to afford things for your housing, for your kids, and you know, in a Miami Cuban household, that's doctor, lawyer, engineer, CPA, those kind of things, and I just gravitated towards the law. And I would love to tell you it was a wonderful strategic plan, but it was kind of just by default. Didn't want to become a doctor, wasn't really interested in accounting, wasn't good enough in math for engineering, and the law felt the best route for that. And frankly, I'm just very grateful for it, though. It was the right decision for me. Yes, and you figured this out when you were in undergrad, or when did it crystallize for you? Probably later in life, probably when I was as an undergrad at the University of Miami. Just didn't see the other ones as real options. So I worked 8 years at a bank as an analyst, and then realized I didn't want to do that either. It was a matter of default, checking boxes off. Applied for law school and left, and actually received an LM in tax as well at NYU. So I'm lucky that I found something that I really enjoy and love. Certainly. What are some of the career highlights? I've been practicing over 30 years now, so I have quite a bit, but kind of the sexiest ones is I've done transactions for the Miami Heat. I represent Inter Miami CF, the soccer team in Miami, and so while a lot of deals, they kind of look the same from a corporate perspective, a legal perspective, but representing the teams is, I guess, a little bit sexier than the other transactions. For sure. What I guess would be your best advice to a student, a law student? I think the one thing I think that while in law school or afterwards? While in law school. So study. I mean, that's important, obviously. The law profession can be a bit brutal in how they evaluate, law school students, and so your grades become extremely important. But in addition to that, and this is sort of a longer term view, everybody next to you is a potential partner of yours in a law firm, is a potential referral source. It can be a friend who really recognizes. Only lawyers understand how difficult it is to practice law, and so and the many things that we face, whether client expectations, the pressure of getting things out on time, and so having relationships with other lawyers, I think, in addition to the things I mentioned, business development, potential income sources and potential partner affiliations. It's a camaraderie that exists in our profession, and in that regard, I said I love lawyers. I love speaking to them. They're always engaged as well too. So the person to your left or your right, maybe they're not practicing law in 20 years as well too, but they may be the CEO of a company. They may be heading up a private equity group. It's amazing what a law degree will do to promote. It's everywhere. Yeah. It really does. I mean, you learn to think, and you learn to think critically, and sometimes can be a bit overwhelming to non-lawyers. The way you break things down. I know that I have battles with my kids sometimes, or with my wife, who happens to be a lawyer as well, about how we break things down as an attorney. It's a skill. It's still, and it really is a way of thinking, and it really can be something extremely useful and productive in whatever you want to choose in life, even if it's not at the end of the day practicing attorney. Yeah, all of that. All of that. I think we underestimate the power of relationships and the importance of relationships, especially while in school. And to add that, I mean, I think life's about relationships, really, in particular. And so the more you foster them, promote them, I think it's just better for you as you're developing, not only as an attorney, but as a human being, frankly. Yeah. No, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Is there anything you'd like to add? Well, I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and the good that you do in the community, promoting attorneys, and I think at a certain sense, sometimes it feels like it's just a profession and you're just getting educated and taught and listening, but I think the human side of what you're trying to promote here, I think, is wonderful.
Yeah, just the awareness, right?
Yeah, no, and in our world today, lawyers can't be the butt of jokes, but I mean, I'm telling you, we're engaged, we care, we know what's going on, and in fact, when we feel strongly about things, that things need to be changed, whether it's the rule of law not being followed, the courts not being impartial or adequately funded, you're teaching young minds about the things that we should do. We should be doing better as a society, and in particular, our role in it as lawyers.
It's certainly community service, and all of that is true about just the leverage that we have in the community to do better and to educate and bring people along with us.
And I would be remiss by not asking, law school students to become attorneys to get involved with the Florida Bar, get involved with voluntary bars in wherever they're going to be. But like I said, I've made some wonderful relationships with people, and you also, we make friends that are all over the state, and maybe they have an opportunity, in where you're living. And so I just think there's so many benefits of being engaged with other attorneys, becoming friends and professionals, and getting involved with the Florida Bar. So I mean, that would be, if there's anything that I could request, is to get more people involved, because that's one of my goals this year, is to get more people involved in the Florida Bar.
Well, I certainly look forward to your leadership, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
There's more on Legal Connections coming up.